Welcome to Luxor,
where we will be visiting the Valley of the Kings,
the temple of Hatshepsut to Karnak temple. So we are officially on our way to Luxor. Are you ready for this?
Well, I will be once I've woken up. It's currently like 7:30.
I know, we rushed to breakfast and literally paid the bill and left, and we are now just coming out of El Guna and ready for a 4-hour trip.
Three.
4.
3.
4.
3.5. Meet
It's
in the middle. Is it 4?
Yeah, 4-hour trip to Luxor. But full on ready to get to Valley of the Kings, right?
When we get there, we've got 24 hours. 24 hours in Luxor.
Yeah.
So far, we've been in the car for like 5 hours,
Maybe even longer.
but we've officially just arrived. So we've also picked up a tour guide along the way. He's going to take us around and give us a little bit of the history and the story behind it all. And also on the way, we stopped off for 10 minutes and got absolutely robbed. We ended up paying like £16 for a pair of sunglasses, 2 cans of Coke and 2 bags of crisps.
Yeah.
So there's a tip: if you go to Egypt, try to avoid going in stores on your own. So we've just jumped out the car. Our tour guide is called Nagla. She's going to be showing us around. So looking forward to this. So welcome to Luxor, the Valley of the Kings. So we're about to go into the tomb of Ramses IV.
So Ramses IV was the third pharaoh of the 20th dynasty of the New Kingdom of ancient Egypt. He was the second son of Ramses III.
Oh my god, this is like mind. Actually, people made this. This is just insane.
And the feeling you get walking around these tombs is just astonishing. And the story behind them, all written in scripture about their relation with their gods and the stars, and the identification of Ramses III with the greatest of gods, Amun, ensured that he would experience endless regeneration, a necessity for eternal well-being in the afterlife.
So this is the tomb of Ramses IX.
So Ramses IX was the 8th pharaoh of the 20th dynasty of Egypt. He was the third longest surviving king of this dynasty after Ramses III.
So apparently this one, Ramses IX, got too many women pregnant, so they chopped off an arm and a leg.
So apparently when he sent all of the army off to battle, they come back and all of the women were pregnant. Legend. In the Valley of the Kings, they found a total of 64 burial chambers so far, but they still keep, as the years roll by, they still keep finding more. So they don't really know the precise number. Only 7 are open at the minute, but yeah, there's potentially so many more tombs here. It's quite something to be able to walk through them and to kind of step back into, yeah, it's like you're stepping back into ancient Egypt.
Meren Pata. Are you ready to go down?
This is actually one of the deepest burial chambers in the Valley of the Kings. It's quite steep, and I wouldn't say they were steps. I'd imagine if you started to get a bit of momentum, you'd be doing roly-polies most of the way. So once the pharaoh or the king or the queen was buried, they would then hide the tomb, and nobody was able to visit it again after. And one of the reasons why they've done this in the Valley of the Kings is to stop people coming and robbing the tombs after they had been buried. And what have you gone and brought now, babe?
Some Egyptian pants.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How did it feel?
Comfortable.
Nice. So we've now arrived at the temple of Hatshepsut. It was a female that ruled Egypt for 22 years.
And the meaning of Hatshepsut is the Holy of Holies, and one of the greatest building of architecture in their time.
So only the king, queen, and the high priestess was actually allowed on the 3rd level.
Walking around this temple, you really get a feel for the connection they had with astronomy. And if you look above your head in all these temples, you'll see many stars, and that just shows their connections with the stars back in ancient history. And in this, you can really see that there's a lot of hidden history that we still don't know of to this day. Even the question that still lies of how they even built these places. With human hands, is it really that possible? With the technology they used back then, we will still never know to this day. And on the way back to the hotel, we stopped off to see the Colossi of Memnon, these two massive stones that have stood there since 1350 BC. Just seeing all these statues just really takes your breath away. And we made our way back to the hotel through the streets of Luxor, which were pretty different. Made it to the Hilton Hotel to check in.
Check out Lauren's freshly bought trousers, my freshly bought sunglasses, and this ridiculous chain that we bought as well. Just gonna say no more, but we've had a proper good day, quite long. We're just about to check in, and then we're gonna go find some food because we are starving.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. Come in, come in, come in. So this is our deluxe suite. They upgraded us because they caught wind that it's actually our honeymoon. And over here, as you can see, they've even given us a little bit of a congratulations honeymoon cake. Let me take a tour, a little bit of a tour around our room. Here we have a rather fine double bed. We have a nice little coffee station over here for your teas and coffees. And then if you follow me into here, we have a nice little toilet slash sink with a nice little walk-in shower. Pretty good, pretty good. As far as Hiltons go, this is the best Hilton I've ever been in. But let me show you the best part of this room, which is the view, because if you come with me, it's overlooking the Nile. So unfortunately we missed the sunset, but we'll show you in the morning. So we've thrown on some clothes and we're off to go have some dinner and check out the hotel. Take these guys with us.
So if you're coming to Luxor for 24 hours, then it's a must recommend to come to the Hilton Luxor Hotel.
So our hotel is right on the Nile. Stunning, absolutely stunning. So to finish our little holiday, we are currently having dinner on the River Nile. I don't think it gets much better than that.
And the best thing about it, we get to hear traditional Egyptian music, and it's so nice. It's so romantic, and this hotel is actually stunning. So we're going to enjoy some food, get an early night, because we're up tomorrow to go exploring the temples.
Thank you to a wonderful honeymoon and an amazing vacation in Egypt. Once again, you have been amazing. Oh, so that pretty much wraps up the evening. For part one, or the first part of Luxor complete. In the morning we've got to be up and ready for about a 10 o'clock pickup. So we'll catch you guys in the morning for coffee on the Nile. Good morning, baby.
Good morning.
That was officially our last night in Egypt.
Oh, so comfortable.
So, good morning YouTube. That was officially our last night, and before we leave this amazing hotel room, we're just going to chill out on the balcony with a coffee because it has the most amazing views. The sky's cleared, you can see all of the mountains in the background. It's just an incredible view across the Nile, and I'm very blessed to be able to sit here and have a coffee and soak it up. But let me show you something else we bought yesterday. Bought this. So yesterday we purchased this, super overpriced, but it has Lauren written on the front, David written on the back.
Good morning.
I'm finally awake. And we're just heading down to breakfast now. And then we're going to do another couple hours sightseeing.
Breakfast choices at the Hilton Hotel were amazing. You literally could choose anything. And David and I chose to just go for a little bit of everything.
So what's this, baby?
So I was wondering when we was on the way into Egypt, I kept seeing everybody like eating these sticks. So we found a stick eating machine over there. I don't know if they've got an Egyptian term for it, but as far as I'm aware, it's sugar cane. And it is the most sweetest thing I've ever tasted in my life. It's so sweet, it's horrific.
So once we finished some breakfast, we made our way to the Nile just to take some classic photos and took some time to reflect on the journey that we've had so far here in Luxor.
You need to see this view. So I didn't even realise this, that the River Nile runs obviously through Cairo, I knew that, but it comes all the way down to Luxor, the same River Nile, which is the same River Nile, well I don't know if it's called River Nile, but it comes from the north coast, so it comes from the north all the way down through Cairo, all the way down to Luxor, and apparently on the Nile, like only in 1995, the bridges were built over the Nile. Other than that, you had to get a boat. The boat was the only way over to the West Bank or the East Bank. That was so interesting. I can't believe that. Like 1995 was the first bridge. That's in my lifetime.
Amazing. We can officially say we've been to the River Nile. It's like one of the most famous rivers in the world. So the fact we've been here, experienced it. We're going to Luxor Temple, which is where we're going to find our calling, because for some reason we always feel like called to come to these places, and whenever we go to them, we always find the same thing.
Oh my God.
Obelisks.
Obelisks.
So,
oh gosh, and if you are
a
a regular follower, you will know about the obelisks. And my gosh, have we been feeling them.
Yeah.
They're just energy centres around the world, and and we end up, every place we get called to, there's always one. It's like, oh God,
it's
here
always
we go
in the
again.
capitals. Although Luxor isn't the capital of Egypt, it used to be a capital.
Yeah.
It used to be the capital of Egypt. So.
And where there was one, there's one obelisk here in Luxor. There used to be two, and one of them is actually in Paris.
The only place we haven't been yet.
I know, and we're actually due to go to Paris like soon, aren't we? We'll hopefully find the other obelisk there as well. But yeah, they're just, the energy of them, just can't really explain it.
Obelisks are strategically placed on grid lines that run around the earth, so they're points of intensification, and there are places where with intention you can send energy around the planet. So we'll be checking in with that today.
Yeah, and they always seem to trigger us.
They
Triggered a lot of
seem
fear
to
for me yesterday.
bring up a lot.
Yeah, I had a bit of a moment, and I feel like in Egypt, like if you're not really prepared, it can be quite shocking, especially for a woman. Like it's very male dominated out here, and the pressure they put on tourists is quite intense. So like as soon as you get out the airport, like they're on you. They're like literally on you, like taxi, 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 and like they just try and like literally grab your suitcase, like without even you saying yes. Like they'll grab your suitcase and like lead you to the taxi. And I know I've had many occasions where I've come and I've just felt like, okay, this is too much now. And also when you go to these touristic places, they're very on you to buy souvenirs and everything like that. But yeah, we stopped off for a coffee yesterday, and I don't know, I didn't want to get out the car anyways. I said to David, didn't I was like, I don't want to get out the car, I just feel safer in the car. And you were like, oh, it's fine, we'll just go and get coffee. And I was like, I don't really want a coffee anyways. And David was like, oh, I'm going to go toilet. So he went to the toilet, and then a guy come out and was like, oh, come to my shop, where are you from? And then you talk and
took your hat off your
and then
head
he
first.
literally grabbed my hat and walked off and said, no, come with me. And I was like, I don't want to go. And then he was like, but he had my hat. So I was like, I stood there and I was like, no. And then he come back with another hat and like tried to wrap around without my permission, like was then round my head, just wrapping an Egyptian hat around my head, just completely invading my personal space. And then anyway, David come out and obviously saw this happening, and then looked at him with my hat on the head, and you grabbed it off of him, and he's like, oh, you took it back, got it off. And then he just was like, please just come there. And then they try and guilt trip you with the whole COVID thing, and I know, obviously
and family and
and I'm a sucker for that. So I'm just like, oh, okay, look, I'd rather just give you the money and not even buy anything. We didn't want anything. But this is where David got his glasses, which we were showing you earlier. He did get the glasses, but we ended up paying more than I said. And I thought, you know what, it's fine. Like, I earn good money. I know these guys don't earn good money, but it's not even the point of that.
No.
It's like how they treat you. It's if they're a bit more honest and a bit more gentle with you, you'd actually feel better like buying off of them and be like, yeah, it's fine, but it's like you feel like you don't have a choice. It's mad.
And then it's obviously like trying to find a fine line where you're being decent, you're being decent, but then you're not, because I can get quite hot-headed quite quick around people like that, and then it's like it doesn't make you feel safe.
No,
so it's like,
and then it got really quite intense, and said something that you just
he went, I'm not an evil man, or something like that, but.
No, something else, and then you just went, do not talk to my wife like that, like you can't, we're going. But it got a bit aggressive, and then I freaked out, and then I just thought, just get me in the car. So we got in the car, paid the money, and just thought, you know what, it's done now. They ripped us off for a packet of crisps and some drinks, but you just have to be, have your wits about you and really bargain, which is a shame because I hate all that.
I mean, they love to bargain, but there's within amongst the Egyptian people, there's a desperation, and that desperation comes across as, it's kind of like they're trying to extract as much as they can out of you. And even
like
throughout all of the temples yesterday,
they
they take your phone off you, and then they'll just start taking pictures, and then they come back without your permission. And then they come back, and then they're like shaking their pockets, and they're like, it's like, no mate,
why are you doing that?
Like,
but look, it is, it's such a different
part
culture,
of the culture
here.
But be aware of that when you're coming to Egypt.
But when you're not from here and you're not used to things like that, which I've not been used to, it can really scare you and put a lot of pressure on you, and you're just like, ah. So yeah, be prepared. Either be prepared to tip people, which we haven't been,
and be prepared to say no.
And then be prepared to say no. Yeah, of course. But
otherwise, you'll come
and
home
watch
super
people grab
skint.
things off of you. Yeah, just have your wits about you. But other than that, I
Egypt's been
absolutely
amazing.
love Egypt. Like, when people aren't trying to get something out of you, they're honest, lovely people. So we've had such a good time. Just had a couple of moments that did scare me. But yeah, yesterday I just got in the car, didn't I? And I just broke down. I just cried. Like, just felt like really a lot of fear coming up. And I knew, obviously, energetically, I had to shift that out of me anyways, but like, whereas in the past I would have suppressed that, I would have just like been like embarrassed about feeling that way and just like shut it off and suppress the emotion. But
being strong and
but obviously like I'm very much in touch with my emotions, and if I feel a certain way, I acknowledge that I feel that way, and I allow my tears to come up and to pass, and I just feel so much better today, because there has been a few moments over the last few days where we've experienced that, and for me to be able to release that, I was just like, yeah, I needed that. But you weren't even aware. I didn't even want to tell David that I was crying. I just put my head on the pillow, just like sobbing. But it was just nice to have that release. And even you have had some releases as well, being over in Egypt.
I think for me it's like learning, because I go from being soft to being shut out, and then I can just flip and go into, like, when I feel threatened, I automatically turn against people, and that's not necessarily a good thing. So for me it's about finding a balance where I can say no and mean no without being too aggressive or harsh with it. So. But yeah, it's been a good learning curve.
But I always find when you travel, your energy shifts. So prepared for things to, when you are on this journey of self-discovery and learning to process your emotions and stuff. Like, when you move places, it always brings up, like, new places for me bring up a lot of fear. Like, a lot of people get anxiety, and that's why they don't travel. But once you actually let yourself feel a certain way and allow the emotion to come up, you feel even better than you did before. Allows you to overcome that fear as well, and to be able to live your life. So don't be afraid to travel, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, and always know, like, it's all a learning curve and a learning journey. And let's go and feel the energy of Luxor Temple and Karnak Temple?
Karnak.
I think that's how you say it.
So we are back in the car on our way.
So welcome to Karnak Temple.
So this temple was actually discovered in 1860. Before then, it spent most of its time completely covered by sand. I mean, what a thing to unearth! Imagine finding this. I didn't expect anything like this. So to be able to see it, this video just won't do it justice.
And this one is Ramesses II.
The thing that really stands out for me, like amongst all the different rulers that they had throughout ancient Egypt, I think that when you're in a place like this, the thing that really stands out to me is the power that this place represents. And I think it represents more than just that one ruler, one dynasty. It's more like they was worshipping something greater than themselves. The gods that they worship, like the god of the sun, the god of the moon. Pharaohs were like referred to as gods, and I feel like that's because they had these deeper spiritual connections to the other side, and you know, it's shown by through all of the depictions in all of the walls regarding that they were seen as innocent and they led with their heart, and these kind of things that they're like morals that me and Lauren live by. That connection to the earth, the connection to the gods, the connection to our heart centers, the moon, the sun, and I think, you know, beyond all of the rulers, there is that core truth that runs throughout all of the people that ruled ancient Egypt, and that is the connection to something greater than ourselves. Something that me and Lauren have, and that's why we're called to come to places like this. So.
This is so amazing. We'll
Feel
just keep
like
saying this.
Mad dizzy as well.
Yeah. As we've been walking around, keep getting waves of like nauseous and like dizziness, and you can just tell how intense the energy is here. So amazing, like so amazing.
Seriously, how sweet is this woman? Is that not the picture of sweetness? So in ancient Egypt, the beetle was actually a symbol of good luck. And over here in the temple itself, they have a statue that's dedicated to the beetle. They also represent the sunrise. But apparently this statue here, if you walk around it 7 times, anti-clockwise, it brings good luck. So me and Lauren are going to now circle the beetle 7 times. One for that?
What?
We're now off to our last place to visit, and that is Luxor Temple, where the main obelisk of Luxor is. But it used to be 2.
So this is Luxor Temple, and it was built in 1994 BC, and it's the same time as the Karnak Temple. So this is where you see just the one obelisk, because the other one is in Paris. Gave it as a gift to Paris when he ruled here. And in return they got a clock that went to Cairo, but now it's broken. And this temple was built for Ramesses II and Amenhotep III, the majority of the temple. The sphinxes that were all where we saw in Karnak, they used to link to the Luxor temple. And it was like it was an avenue of just sphinxes that went the whole way down. And there used to be houses around here until the government decided to knock down all of the houses, and it was 3 kilometers long of hundreds and hundreds of sphinx that were linking the two. And then they had the celebration of the feast Oped, where they used to celebrate with the boats and the food. So that concludes our trip around Luxor in 24 hours. We've literally been here from 12 o'clock yesterday to 12 o'clock today with an amazing tour guide, and yeah, we had the best time.
Had the best time. Stayed in an amazing hotel, ate dinner on the Nile, had coffee on the Nile, but now it's time to jump back in the cab,
3-4 hour drive
to Hurghada, where we're getting our flight back to the UK. Me and Lauren have been trying for babies, and I've been rather successful on this trip.
And it's not the only souvenir that we're coming away with. We're coming away with a food baby from David.
Bringing home a gut.